one of the reasons I'm on the edge of crying. But this is my brother. I just wanted to say to the newcomers that if you made it in these rooms, you're very lucky, and it's a blessing. My brother Travis, some of my last messages to him on Facebook Messenger, I was trying to share with him the freedom that I found in AA. It's the answer. It's helped so many when nothing else has. So if you're here and you're new in AA, this will save your life. It didn't for my brother. And unfortunately, he passed away. And she's coming in the mail. She's not here. But my mother as well. She didn't make it. And my mother. My brother passed away 3 years ago, and my mother passed away a year after him. And because of this disease. And because of this program, I didn't drink. I was sober through it all. Now, more for my story. Because of this disease, I was taken from my mother at age 3, and I got put into foster care. My brother, Trav, and I. And we lived in many homes together, and then we were separated. And he ended up getting shipped to boys' homes, and he ended up growing up a tall, white, skinny gangster. And he was selling drugs and doing them by the end of it. And that's what took him out. He didn't have any support around him. That's what I was trying to share with him. What means most to me in this program is that I've made connections and real heart-to-heart friendships in this program. And that's what's gotten me through. So I grew up in Alaska, born and raised. I was taken away from my mother at age 3, and I was put in foster care. And I ended up living in 36 homes from ages 3 to 16. And in one of my last homes, so I lived in many religions, many cultures. I lived with the black family. We went to church on Saturday. I was the only skinny white girl in the church. They were Seventh-day Adventist. I had a foster mom that was Chinese Fijian. And I felt that no one loved me. I didn't live with anyone long enough to connect. And if I did connect, it hurt because I'd move and I'd never see him again. So in one of my last foster homes, I ended up in a car accident, flying out the back windshield, and I suffered a traumatic brain injury from it, and a coma. I ended up in a coma. I think that's also another reason alcohol affects me differently, is because I have a traumatic brain injury. But after that coma and car accident, a few months later, I was sent back to my mom for the first time in 14 years, and she was never healthy. And she married me to a man when I was age 16. She married me to a man that was 15 years older than me. And he was a heroin addict for 10 years before I met him, and I didn't know. So this is where my first addiction started, was Oxycontin, was with him. He started me on that, and I was brain damaged, just came out of the coma, and this is the only person I knew in the world. I thought I cared about this man, even though he was so much older than me. And I was 16. What 16-year-old could make the right decision anyway, right? But at 14, you can get married with parents' consent. My real mother and real father married me away to this man. And he took me from Alaska to LA, and it went from Oxycontin to heroin. I ended up being a heroin addict. Worst thing ever. I had to do it just to feel normal. It was awful. I can't believe that I got away from that drug. He was also a con artist, and the detective that saved my life from this man visits me almost every year here in Las Vegas. His name's Scott Wine, and luckily Scott helped me get away from that man. He went to jail, went to prison, and then I ended up moving here because I lived in some residential treatment for people with traumatic brain injuries. That's why I came to Vegas. So I lived in this program, and really I needed the therapy. Learned how to drive, got my GED. By this time I'm 20 years old. And by the time I get out, I am lost in the world. I have no friends, no family. My heart was just so empty. And I have a huge heart. I'm a huge lover. And I started numbing my heart with alcohol. I never went back to drugs. I never wanted to be addicted to anything ever again in my life. But drugs would numb my heart, or alcohol would numb my heart. And it took me a long time to realize that I can't look to things in this physical world to heal my heart, to numb my heart. I had to look to the spiritual. This is when I came to full faith in God. And the God and this is by this time, this is years of drinking, and now I'm age 33. After the head injury program at age 20, I drank for 20 or however many years that is till I'm age practically 30, 33. And I'm just in a black hole. No one knows I'm an alcoholic, but I drink by myself. I could drink normal with friends, but on the way home I'll pick up a bottle, and it's just I was very alone. And so I grew up in many religions, and I'm going to share my God, who is love, and it is the God of the Bible, Jesus. Jesus wasn't into religion. To me, it's not about religion. It's about a personal relationship with God, who is love, and that's what Jesus was in the flesh. He was here to show us love, show us the way, and that's why his Holy Spirit is also love. So Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are all love. This is what happened to me that brought me to full faith. My heart was transformed. I went from an empty heart to a heart overflowing with love. And I didn't even realize the Bible had talked about this. It says, seek me with your whole heart and you will find me. I'll take out your heart of stone. I'll give you a new heart. I'll put a new spirit in you. You'll be a new creation. The old you will pass away. And this happened before I even realized this was talked about. This is being reborn. I didn't understand that. It's a whole new spirit. It's a spirit of love. And it's such an incredible transformation of spirit that's what brought me to full faith in God. It wasn't the God I grew up with, all of these religions I lived with, all these things shoved down my throat about who God was. If I was bad, I was going to hell. If I was good, I was going to heaven. That's the judgmental God I grew up with. But the God I finally came to full faith in was the God of love. And during this time, I was kind of into the New Age. But once I realized that my eyes kind of started to open up to who God truly was and seeing what's going on in the world. And because I had learned many things in the Bible, I awakened to seeing that what is going on in the world is biblical. And I came to full faith in God, and I realized, holy smokes, it's real. God is real. And I was like, holy crap, the Bible is real. And so I went down to the church next to my house, all alone, got myself baptized, and I'm really shy. I wouldn't usually do that in front of people. Got myself baptized, and when I left the church, I went straight to the liquor store because, it's a spiritual battle. So even coming to full faith in God, he's the one who helped me in the end, God who is love. But, yeah, man, when you wake up to that being real and it becomes real, it's like seeing reindeer fly. Like, you don't believe in it unless you see it. Then you're like, holy smoke, now I know what I know, and I have full faith, and I can't not know it. Like, I knew who God is. I knew that love is. It wasn't that no one loved me growing up. It was that a lot of people showed me love. It's not easy to become a foster parent. And so I got rid of all my crystals. Crystals aren't bad, okay? But I used to make crystal jewelry. I was into like Reiki and tarot cards and all that. But then I realized God said, don't mess with that stuff. You can access those spiritual realms and pull through stuff. Don't mess with it. Don't open those gateways. I got rid of all of it, turned full on toward God, and next thing I know, He brought me the love of my life. Sorry. This is Josh. This is the love of my life. And, sorry. He has twin boys as well. And they're 16 and they don't have their timing right, so they're not here today. They were meant to be here, but they couldn't get themselves out the door. It would have been a lot. Maybe next time.
They sure couldn't.
They feel bad. They didn't make it. But God brought me the love of my life. My heart. It was my whole life changed. And I never stopped praising God. But I couldn't stop drinking. Sorry. Change is scary. Change is very scary, and I I didn't know how to love or be loved. And he's an entertainer. He travels a lot, and he would FaceTime me, and he'd be like, "Hey, are you drinking?" And I'd be like, "No." I would lie and sneak. That's what it makes us do. We lie and we sneak, and we lose trust. And we lost trust, and I almost lost all the love that God had for me. And so he said that I need to go to AA. So I did. I came in here, and I am so thankful. When I was drinking, I was self-sabotaging myself. I didn't know how to love or be loved. And I'm just so grateful for this program. It's totally where I was meant to be. You know, I love all of the steps, and by the end of it, I was like, I'm not gonna help. How can I help people? I could not imagine myself helping somebody else, but it's crazy. After you make it a certain amount of time, God will bring people into your life that you can spread that love and light to. Because once you're through this program, it's like we hold the keys to life to help someone else out of that darkness. It's beautiful. It's the greatest job in the universe. We are here to love. We are created from love to love. And we're not here just to have a job and make money. Okay, so the keys we learn in this room give us the keys to life. It's the greatest gift you can do. It's to spread love to someone else. And I love it because I've got that heart full of love now. And now I have people coming to me, and I'm able to help and spread love to them, and it's beautiful. And I know I'm forgetting a lot. Oh, what else am I going to say? So this program, so now that I've learned about alcoholism, I've reached out to my alcoholic father for the first time. And last month I went and saw my father for the first time in 20 years. I saw him back when I was 16, when he gave me away at the wedding. He's sober, and we actually went together last month and went and saw him. And we spread my brother's ashes out on the Kenai River in Alaska. And it was beautiful, and I would have never, so I have a dad now, you know, after not having a father my whole life, and it's beautiful. And I just want to share with the newcomers, like, this program will save your life. It'll open doors for you. I feel like people that struggle with addiction, like, we have such big, loving hearts, and because we have so much love to share, I feel like that darkness comes after us, you know what I'm saying? We feel so much, we numb it, because we're in a world where people are made to be separate. Even social media makes us separate. And I think it's hard on our hearts. What we need is true heart-to-heart connection, and this is what we can find in these rooms. I know there was more I wanted to share, but anyway, stick to the program. If you're new here, don't give up. Keep coming back, and until it starts to click. It took a long time for my brain to heal and for the cloud to lift. I lived in a depression my whole life. And you know, like, I think now, hey, I can go have a drink. I'd probably be fine. I mean, really. But I have such a freedom. I don't live under a cloud of darkness. I lived in depression my whole life. And that's what keeps me sober. I never want to go back to that darkness. And I've got Josh and the twins that are not here today because they couldn't make it. But I'm just so grateful. Grateful for the program. Grateful for everyone for coming here today, too. And I think that's it.
We are going to open the meeting for sharing.